me scare him away.
Monday morning. Woke up first light, jumped in the quad, and I went farther upriver to have a go. See if I might feel a wild steelhead on the rod for breakfast. Didn't happen. Usually doesn't. When it does, it's pretty damn good. Man, sometimes I just feel like I'm stuck in quicksand. I'm getting stuff done, but I'm not getting done what I want to get done in time. I want that place done so bad, and things just keep popping up and popping up. But voices still keep coming in non-stop. And information and knowledge. And along the way, things come up that we need to be aware of. Speaking of that, I think yesterday, if you didn't go check out my Rumble channel, or the Locals channel, maybe you should. Because you know what? Sure is a great time to be a pedophile, isn't it? It's a great time. Who would have thought? I'll bet if they had an organization of pedophiles, they probably would have thought, man, never in my lifetime would I think this would happen these days. Government-funded programs to teach your adolescent children how to cross-dress and dance like an adult stripper in a sex club. Good times for pedophiles. Good times. So I'll keep dropping little tidbits on that topic so it never ever goes away. And, I know what's going to happen up here in Canada pretty quick, but they passed a bill that our government passed some kind of bill has something to do with the content you put online. Sarah was showing me a printout of the rules. Apparently you put something out there against the Canadian government online soon, you're going to be into a $25,000 fine, first offense. If it carries on X amount of days, it doubles, triples. Large businesses, if they say something bad about the government, the fines will be up in the millions, I think. This is Canada, you guys. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? Bite my lip, I probably don't need to say much more. You guys get it, what's going on, right? Unbelievable. Now, time to hear some important voices from the real people, the free people, the brave people, people that hopefully are making a difference. Hi Steve, firstly, I'm thankful for what you do, and I watch your channel every day. You can use my name. My name is John Bender. I grew up in rural Pennsylvania and have spent most of my life here. I've been hiking all over the state, at least once a week, every week since I began driving at 16, 10 years ago. I've been all across the many state parks in this state. I've spent thousands of hours hiking in the woods, and until the last 365 days, I've never had anything outright happen to me, though I've heard many stories. I've had 3 strange encounters now since the summer of 2022, almost as if a door has been opened since the first one. It's usually how it goes, John, unfortunately, right? The story I'm sharing today is the most recent thing that happened to me and my 2 buddies last Saturday night. It has completely traumatized me. Okay, now listen, you guys, you've got somebody writing into us about being in the woods all their life, and all of a sudden, boom, one day, absolutely traumatized. That's how it goes down. For all the possible people here that are skeptics, there you go. This is how it goes down for people just like you, the skeptic. I haven't been able to get it out of my head. I'll try to keep this email short without skipping details. My 2 lifelong friends and I went on a spur-of-the-moment night hike Saturday night. Since discovering missing 411, I haven't hiked at night for nearly 2 years. I used to hike alone all the time, and alone at night. But hiking with these 2 guys made us all feel bold and safe. We were hiking near part of the Appalachian Trail. We grew up in Duncannon, and the AT runs through the town. There's a ridge next to the town with a very popular hiking vista called Hawk Rock. We've been up there hundreds of times. At the base of the mountain, there's a creek that flows into the Susquehanna River and a road that follows this creek back into the woods for about 1.5 miles. It leads out to a Boy Scout camp, shelters, and water wells. It follows the creek around a bend and then ends. Where the road ends, we have a low-key camping site that follows an easy-to-miss trail that continues past the road and goes into the woods another couple hundred of yards. There's a little campsite back along the creek deep in the woods. A stone fire pit, large rocks moved to be seats, and a large fallen tree rolled against the 2 other standing trees to be a bench. We go out there rarely and beyond our friend group. It's virtually an unknown spot. Sorry. Had the knee GoPro on when I was crossing the river. I got a GoPro strapped to my knee so I could film the fish underwater when you're fighting them. It was still recording. Oops. That's where we were when we had this happen. For context, we were about 2.5 miles from the car. We have only one trail leading in and out. The campsite is a dead end of this path. We are facing the way we came in. To our left is the creek, 10 feet away. On the other side of the creek, right there, the woods extend in about 2 miles until the nearest road. To our right is the small ridge, a little valley, and then the ridge the AT goes along on the other side of it. Mountains to the right for miles. Behind us is the mountain ridge that continues for over 10 miles, and in front of us is a few hundred yards of thick woods until the road, and then almost 2 miles of dirt road to the car. We were sitting there talking about Sasquatch and encounters. Both my friends have never had an encounter. This night was totally dark, no moon. Couldn't see each other side by side without a light, and it was dead quiet. In hindsight, seems weird. There are normally lots of frogs along that creek. I've been at this campsite about 24 times. Never had anything happen to us there. In hindsight, we foolishly egged it on. We're talking about missing 411, your channel, and my 2 previous encounters. My one friend has never heard the Sierra sounds, and my other friend told me not to play them. I did 2 tree knocks. Then we played the Sierra sounds in total darkness. I'm getting tears in my eyes typing this. And just on cue, not even a minute went by, a huge rock splashed into the creek about 30 yards away in the direction of our trail and the only way out. And my buddy said, "Was that a tree?" I was already on my feet. I've thrown many rocks into creeks, rivers, and lakes, and that was a rock, a large rock. It made that thwomp sound of breaking the water and crashing into the creek bed. Was speed, force, and size. Immediately we got that sense of dread and danger. I knew right away that was a large rock thrown into the water. And I said such, that was a big rock landing in the water. And then it happened a second and a third time back to back. I said, we need to get the F out of here right now. We were 100% sober, and I've been up and down that creek by kayak, trail, and fishing. It's one of the few areas in PA that don't have beavers. I've never seen a beaver or signs of beavers anywhere along that creek, and I've heard beaver tail slaps. It didn't sound like that at all, and it was loud. It scared the shit out of us by how loud it was, and it was so close to us it didn't seem like just a coincidence. We packed our bags up in hammocks in less than a minute and started walking out in the direction of these splashes. We got parallel to where it happened maybe 30 seconds later. The creek was 5 feet to our left. There was a fog over the creek. We couldn't see the other side. But there's nothing over there but woods. And then it happened. A 4th, a 5th, and a 6th time. Large loud splashes of large rocks crashing into the water right next to us. Oh, that would have sucked, man. Heart racing, adrenaline pumping. I was on point. We were going through this trail with brush to our right and the creek to our left. Dark, silent, foggy. We weren't speaking to each other. We stuck together and were only focused on getting out. We got back to the road and we were practically jogging down this road back towards the car. We were saying that was weird. What was that? That was too close. and too conveniently timed. It wasn't something moving through the water. It was large, isolated rocks splashing into the water. What I was believing, something on the other side throwing large rocks at us. We continued down this road, got a mile away from where it happened. The road was maybe 50 feet from the creek now, and a little bit higher up, but still parallel to the creek, and completely silent. So quiet you could hear a pin drop. We began to feel like we were okay now. Whatever it was something. It was back there, and we were out here now. And then it happened again. A large, loud splash in the creek below, perfectly parallel to us. My buddy said, "Oh shit," under his breath. He's not the type to get easily rattled. The fear, the threat, the sense of danger was palpable, and we could feel it around us and feel it from each other. We felt like we were in danger. Something was on the other side of the creek, mirroring us. The problem was there are no trails, no houses, nothing but woods over there. And whatever it was over there was keeping pace with us, silently, without a light or without a trail. And we could feel it, like we were followed all the way out to the car. We got towards the end of the road. 2 kids were walking in with lights. We saw them coming and said to my friends, "We have to tell them what just happened." We were fleeing. We couldn't let these kids go in there without warning them. We told them what happened, and all of us, clearly shaken and rattled. I remember the kids saying, "Here are 3 full-grown men warning us not to go in there. I'm not trying to die tonight." And they walked out with us. We got to the car, drove back to my buddy's place in town, and for 3 hours tried to rationalize and reason what it was. We couldn't think of any animal that checks all the boxes of the behavior. I have heard and seen beavers. I haven't ever seen them in that area, and they don't make that sound that we heard. And bears don't throw rocks. We have rattled our brains all week. It has consumed us all. We cannot seem to come to good rationalization that fully explains everything that happened. And I've never met anybody that heard a beaver and got tears in their eyes either. We never heard any, or saw anything other than those splashes. If it was somebody messing with us, they were in the middle of nowhere without a light, throwing large rocks and moving silently without a trail. If it was an animal, we would have heard it moving. If it was something in the water, we would have heard it displacing water while moving. Sorry this email's gotten so long. I know this area like the back of my hand. It's my home. I'm terrified to go back outside again, and afraid as soon as the sun goes down, We all felt like we were lucky to get out of there. I was excited for spring and summer and to get back out hiking again, but I am terrified at the thought of it. Thank you for all you do, Steve. I don't know what else to say here. This experience had consumed my waking thoughts and has haunted me in my dreams ever since. I've never felt more terrified in the woods. Even with my encounters with bears and weird people, we all agreed it was a life-changing experience. I had already been initiated into the Club of No Return, but if there was any coming back from it prior to Saturday night, there's no hope now. Thank you again, Steve. I wish you and your family the best. I'll continue to watch your videos as I have for months, and I wish everyone watching this the best. And P.S. I recall leading my friends out, saying audibly under my breath, we're leaving, in hopes that whatever was doing this would hear and understand that we got their message. And I was praying for our safety the entire time. Stay safe, stay blessed. Best regards, John. Okay, John, thanks for that share, man. It's really important for people to get that, the results, the terror. It's really important for you to get it out publicly, get off your chest, speak out loud, share with people. It's important. You guys did great doing that. Thanks for being brave. Now it's going to be tough. It's tough, but if you look at it from a different angle, whatever it was, they wanted you to be terrified and they wanted you to leave, obviously. Or who knows if they wanted you to leave. Maybe they wanted to play. I don't know what they want to do when they do that. Why can't they just go the opposite direction? They've got the whole planet to walk towards, away from you, right? And then it's the end of the confrontation. Why do they do that? I don't know. It's probably hilarious. If they have a sense of humor, it's probably funner than shit for some ruthless bastard to do that to a group of kids or adults or anybody, right? But one thing you, John, can be certain of is whatever was doing it didn't want to hurt you. Right? There's that other side of the coin. If they did, you wouldn't be emailing us. You wouldn't be watching the video. You wouldn't have made it back. And you probably wouldn't have heard anything. Right? Because successful predators don't warn their prey. Unless they are ruthless and they enjoy the game and they want you to be terrified and chase you around a bit before they do you in. But it doesn't seem to be the case with the people that come out and email us anyway, right? Obviously. But you got to think of it that way, man. If you want to try to get back out there, bring a dog. Bring a dog, bring your friends, go in daylight, take baby steps. Like you said, you've gone there your whole life, and then all of a sudden, boom, one day. And that might not ever happen again, right? Who knows? Who knows what the conditions were, what caused that intersection of this being and you guys to come together in that chunk of real estate. After all those years, days and nights being there, nothing happened but that one night. What was going down with the conditions to make that happen that day? Was it just fate, somebody else's decision to possibly go to that new area and you guys are at the same time and they'll never be there ever again? I don't know. There's some kind of parallel place opened up a brand new gateway right there and it's always going to be there? Who knows? But I hope you don't throw away your passions for the outdoors right away, man. You know what I mean? It's going to take a little while to get over that shit, try to come to terms with it. Thank God you found everybody here, and now you realize there's tens of thousands of human beings going through the same shit and worse, right? Including me. But take a dog. Just take a dog. Get a couple dogs. Take a dog and listen to the dogs no matter what. And then try to enjoy yourselves. You know what I mean? Just take baby steps and keep going. Bring a dog. But don't throw it all away. Alright? Thanks for sending that in, man. Make sure you send me more. You got 2 other encounters? We want to hear about it. Send that too. And your email wasn't too long. It's never too long. Just get it heard, you guys. Get it out. Who else? Louis L'Amour's Bigfoot. That's the title of this one. Bigfoot story and analysis. With over 180 million published and knowledge about the West from his research, L'Amour's thoughts about Bigfoot may contribute to our understanding of the Sasquatch. For some reason, he decided to depart from his Western motive to write the book Haunted Mesa, about parallel worlds and Bigfoot, which he called Sasquatch, large hairy creatures with either claws or hard toenails. They were hunters and easily passed from Earth into a parallel world and back to Earth. How did he know that back then? You gotta wonder, right? This made Bigfoot disappearing right in front of humans' eyes possible, and it is a phenomenon infrequently mentioned, but still mentioned, in Sasquatch sightings. A possible great contribution by L'Amour to Bigfootery is his observation that his Sasquatch are greatly attracted to fire, including campfires. He even says they may worship fire in Haunted Mesa. The flare goes up in the desert and the hero sees the Sasquatch hurrying toward it. One Sasquatch is so mesmerized by the light that he walks into the side of our hero's car. I've read and heard some stories of Bigfoot coming into campfires, even in people's backyards, especially in Florida, where it's jungle thick. Therefore, I'm putting forward Nick's hypothesis number 2. Bigfoot is attracted to campfires. I think a big campfire could test this hypothesis. Nick's hypothesis number 1, Bigfoot can efficiently be fed by hanging a wire, a can of dog food, beans, beer, etc., with the wire carefully inserted under the tab of the can without breaking the seal. The other end can be wrapped around a high limb to get it out of reach of black bears. I believe Bigfoot will learn. Dune. Popping the. Boom. End email. You forgot a whole bunch of it, I think, or cut it off or something, but that was it. So there you go. I guess we take that as Louis L'Amour's Bigfoot. He had some kind of knowledge on these beings. Attracted fire. I don't know about being attracted to fire, but what was cluing me into years ago, before I even went online, I believe, was that one incident north of Fort Nelson, British Columbia, in the middle of winter, minus 30, minus 40, whatever it was, and those two poor bastards were up on the tower in the dark with that flare, the flame shooting up out of the top of that tower, and they were stuck up there as this massive, large, hairy thing just kept on walking around the leaves, squatting down and looking up at them. He was like amazed by seeing that flare up there, that flame. I think it's burning off the methane or something, burning off whatever gas is burning off. But when you drive Glasgow Highway at nighttime, you can see those flares in the distance for miles. They're all over the place. So, how did that being all of a sudden become mesmerized with that one? Did he just get there? And if he did, where'd he come from? Right? You know what I mean? And that's what made me start thinking a long time ago, alright, that is a sure frickin' sign that they aren't here all the time, because that sucker would have had dozens of those flares, those flaming towers to see previous to bumping into those two guys and standing there mesmerized looking up at them. I forget exactly how long they were stuck up there, but it was a while. And it was all documented. When I was working up there, the welder I was working with, we were pipelining, he was up there when it went down. He said there was a half a dozen different reporters and big newspaper names came up there trying to find the guy and do a story on it. But anyway, I don't think they're attracted to fires, but possibly when they first get here, some of them, they might be mesmerized by seeing one for the first time. Possibly, right? Possibly. What do we got? What do we got? Mark this as red. Secondhand story of Dogman. Please don't give my name out. Gotcha. My brother, before he moved to Texas after his divorce, during his marriage to his first wife, they were traveling down a secondary blacktop road in central Kansas. He came to a T in the road. It was daylight in the middle of the day. Then he was looking for traffic, looking left and right. He noticed a big bipedal dog man. It had the funny looking dog legs and it was big and black. I asked him, what did he do? He said he turned right and smashed the gas to get away. He said the dog man kept up for a little bit. Finally he drove away from the dog man. Then he told me when he lived by Chanute, Kansas, he seen another dog man. He hasn't given me details yet. I told him he's probably tagged. I know of several dogman stories in Kansas, and yes, we have Bigfoot too. They've been reported 10-foot tall Bigfoot by Milford Lake, and yes, we have a military fort close by, Fort Riley. Recently in Brookville, Kansas, we've had cow mutilations, and the farmer took up the drone to see it from the sky where the cow died, and he found 3 points in the ground where the ground has been dug up in a triangular shape. Where the cow died, no animals will cross over. They sent the cow to Kansas State University to get an autopsy. I'll leave the link of the lady who interviewed the farmers and the veterinarian at Kansas State. You can find it on the YouTube channel Earth Files. Also, Kat Henson YouTube channel. It's been dormant for a couple of years, but it has a lot of Bigfoot and Dogman information. She talks about the Bigfoot language and many other topics like the portals. Interesting. And again, like I said about the Dogman thing, I always shook my head at it for a long time. Didn't give it any energy. But I would be an absolute dumb ass to not listen to the people. Thousands of people have seen this creepy ass described thing. What the hell's up with that, right? Kansas, we used to go into, what was it called? World Turkey Hunting Competition in Lacine, Kansas. We went into that the very first time it cracked open until the old COVID bullshit put an end to it. I don't think it's on anymore, I don't know. But I had a lot of fun in Kansas. Lots of country there. I wasn't aware of a lot of Dogman stuff going on around there at that time when I was there, that's for sure. Keep that stuff coming in, man. Keep emailing it. Keep sharing it. There's another one, Dogman. Mark this as red. Dogman in Temple, Texas. Hi Steve, I hope you're doing well today, and I'm a big fan of yours. Now, when they ask who my heroes are, it's you, John Wayne, and President Trump. First time ever, this new camera screwed up and actually shut off. Well, normally it'll just keep on going forever. And I missed out on 2 frickin' emails, didn't find it till I got home. So I'll have to finish them here with the adventure puppy as my audience. And I'll go back to the river where I had the other ones record just fine. Here we go. A good friend of mine who is from the same neighborhood as me told me an encounter with a Dogman around March of this year at exactly 5 a.m. and no more than 60 feet away. He was around 9 feet tall and had a head of a canine, and his tongue was hanging out and the tongue was long. It had claws and ran on 2 legs and was chasing a small deer. He saw the beast for a good 2 minutes. He was getting off of work and was not drinking. Thank you so much, Ray. Another Dogman sighting, and another. Don't bunk the tripod there, puppy. Like I said before, I'm an idiot to not listen to the tens of thousands of people that are seeing the same thing. They're seeing it. There's no way out of it. No matter how much you don't want that to be fact, there's no way out of it. It's frustrating. It's another one titled More Weird Happenings. Hey Steve, it's Red again. It's been about 2 years now since I last wrote into you, and you read my experience with the glowing green eyes. A lot of shit has gone down since then. I haven't seen the eyes again, but on other things that have been going on. Around a month or so after I had my sighting with that unknown set of eyes, my dad passed away from the effects of Agent Orange and whatever else they sprayed him with in Vietnam. Dad studied everything until he knew the ins and outs of whatever he was fascinated with at the moment. We listened to you together all the time. He took a bunch of college classes and went to the conventions, which he always thought those guys were a joke and all about the money. But after a while, he just stopped altogether, wanting to know more about them. I think we had to have justification that they were real. Enough people have come forward, and the military people he was best friends, like CIA and Pentagon high-level guys. The world has become such an odd place these past few years. I miss our conversations on these topics and just in general. He was my best friend. I miss him dearly. My sister and her jackass husband were jealous of the relationship I had with my dad and became ultra-controlling and power-tripping assholes the day after he died. I won't take any of it and haven't talked to either in over a year and don't care if I ever do again. F them both. I'm taking care of my mom. I refuse to play their BS games just like I did with Dad. They don't like the fact that I stand up for myself. F them. That goes for the rest of the family too, that thinks they can tell me what to do. I had a stroke a month after my dad's funeral. Now I'm finally feeling somewhat normal. Everyone expects me to start working 80 hours a week and do all this crap. Hell, I'm happy if I don't have to take a nap that day or get through the hour of hard work without passing out. Couldn't hold his funeral until September due to the worldwide BS fest and Seattle being a burying cesspool of dumpster fire. We had been having a raven come by and feed on the feed we put out for the crows. Crows weren't having it. After a few days he left, but the night we held Dad's funeral in the trees in front of our yard, a white orb went through them a few times, like through the branches. We haven't had the side of the house whacked here in a while. Haven't heard the bulldozer through the woods sound for a few years now, but I have heard the owl sounds that don't sound like owl sounds. I haven't seen the eyes, which I'm thankful for because I don't need to freak out at 2 a.m. again. I see orbs at night, sometimes up in the trees, either white or red ones. Sometimes I see figures that stay in the shadows moving around, along with the ghosts in the house, which are normal. I swear this house is built on an old log camp or Indian graveyard. Weird shit's gone down here my whole life. For about 6 to 8 months now, I haven't seen a deer, or hell, even a possum, which is weird as hell because we live in the woods for the most part. I hear the coyotes occasionally from time to time, but it's nothing like it used to be here. I told a friend about the eyes I saw, and he said I should try gifting things with it. Yeah, I'm good. I want nothing to do with that type of relationship. If anyone else is from the Gig Harbor / Port Orchard area, keep your eyes open. We both know weird shit goes on around here the damn Californians won't admit to. I know a dude out in Long Branch that had one run in front of his truck down by down by the Y, almost to the community center. And another one before the gas station, going to Key Center right after Ravensdale. A bunch of people have been screamed at down in Penrose. Yeah, they're around. Sorry everyone for the rambling, but this is the first time I put any of my thoughts on paper since he died. To Steve and every member of the round table, y'all have pulled me through some dark times with these stories and that sense of normalcy. That one thing I could listen to for that day and just have something else to think about. Thank you all, Eric Rulian. Eric, thank you, man. Sorry about hearing your dad pass and all your family grief, but too many families don't have family grief, right? But anyway, I already read that down by the river, so I guess now I'll have to go back to the ones I did read by the river after the camera shut off to block out these 2 emails. I don't get it. Let me show you the size of Adventure Dog on them right here. Ruby, come. Ruby, come. Here she comes running. She's getting pretty good at this. Come here. Come here. Come. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, come here. You're going to say hello to everybody. Oh, come here. Sorry. Oh, get up. Dumped her. There she is. Got a little bigger since she was a little fluffy puppy. Hey, what do you think? Huh? You know? There you go. All right, let's go. All right, who's next? Team Arizona Mind Speak saved my life. Originally sent January 22. I've had to dig in my inbox trying to find. Not trying to, there's lots of emails, but it's hard to find out which ones I've read. Hey Steve, this is going to be a little lengthy, but it needs to be heard, so please share. I first have to give some details, and I'm not by any means looking for sympathy. It's just what it is. I am 100% disabled through the VA for many different issues resulting from Desert Storm to include exposure to sarin nerve gas, as are a great majority of us that were there, along with what is known as Gulf War Syndrome, which is partially accepted to be tied to all the shit they gave us and injected into us in the form of vaccines. In 2018, I was going on an overnighter to Sasquatch camp just to check on some things I had left at my gift stump. At this time, it was a 125-mile drive to get there. I packed very light, being it was for a night only. So before I unpacked the truck, I went over to the gift stump, which was about 200 yards away from camp. When I got there, I was told in mind speak, leave now, not safe. I asked, what's not safe? Is there a bear or a stupid human in the area? Once again, leave now, not safe. I said I just got here, but okay. I went back to my camp, got in the truck, drove 125 miles back home. My wife asked why I was back so quick, and I told her what happened. A few hours later, my blood pressure shot up to 205/112. I was at that moment thinking, how could they possibly know that this would happen? And being that Sasquatch camp is 7,300 feet and I lived at 1,400 feet. That would have happened if I stayed there. I'm sure you all can figure that one out. Now on to April 2019. Our family was going to one of our family campouts, kids and grandkids. There were 28 of us. So it's a large group. I went up about 4 days ahead of everyone else so I could get my Sasquatching time in alone. I spent a lot of time alone during my thing out there, interacting with the forest people. It was Thursday and there was a chance my son and his family was going to be there that night. And everyone else would be there Friday. I'd gone for a walk down the little 2-track road. Our campsite, different than Sasquatch camp, but just as remote. It's an 8-mile drive just to get cell service. I was only going to walk about a mile down the road when I got directed into a campsite known in Arizona by most Sasquatchers as Broken Mirror, and found about a quarter cord of cut and stacked firewood left by an elk hunter from the previous season. I need to give a little background on this. The Mogollon Rim main access road is only open seasonally because of snow. I was the first person back here after it was reopened. I had to drive through a few remaining snow drifts on the road, back to the point. When I saw the wood, I got mind speak, you need a fire tonight. I kind of ignored it, but was happy to find the firewood already cut. I went back to camp and got my truck and returned to load the wood. I got the mind speak again. You need a fire tonight. This time I responded with, I don't want a fire tonight. I want to sit in the dark with you guys. Sorry for drifting off again. I need to explain for a moment. I sit in camp in total darkness. No lights, no fire, for many reasons. One of which is even the crackle of the fire will mask the very subtle sounds they will make. I loaded all the wood in the truck and got it again. Just a little more stern. You need a fire tonight. Once again I said, no, I'm sitting in the dark tonight because once everyone gets here, it's going to be lit up. I drove back to camp and started to unload the wood, and once again, you need a fire tonight. I once again said, no, I'm sitting in the dark. After I unloaded the wood, I set up the fire pit up for a fire just in case my son came in that night so the grandkids could have a fire and start doing the camping thing. I went about my business for the rest of the day until just before the sun started to set. I'm sitting in my chair as the Sasquatch activity is just getting started. Once again, you really need a fire tonight. And me, being pig-headed, said, no, I'm sitting in the dark with you guys, and that's when I saw him. About 100 yards away, stepping back behind a 200-plus-year-old ponderosa pine. I only saw half of his body as he went behind the tree. He was solid white, just like a polar bear. There is nothing in Arizona that's white like that, not even a polar bear. He was no less than 10 feet tall and massive. Only seeing the left half of him, I would have to guess close to 1,300 pounds. I yelled out loudly, I saw you, and immediately got zapped, what I would refer to as a power zap, and was told again, you really need a fire tonight. I responded again, no, I want to sit in the dark with you. In the total darkness, they come up very close and have been close enough where they have actually touched me on many occasions. I guess at this point I should point out that I no longer have any fear of them, and I have a high level of trust between them and myself, and I really enjoy the interactions. I keep getting the same mind speak over and over with me, being really pig-headed with the same response from me. About 2 hours after dark, to my 7 o'clock, I hear a pack of coyotes off in the distance, and I get it again. You really need a fire. Once again I said no, and I heard another pack of coyotes to my 11 o'clock and another pack off to my 2 o'clock. And all three packs are starting to get into a frenzy. I started to get a little nervous as I was told, if you're going to sit in the dark, get out your weapons. I didn't have any firearms, but I had 2 combat knives, so I retrieved them in the truck and sat back down. Now the dogs are getting really close, and I needed to stand so I could see all around me, which wasn't much as it was so dark. It was like being in the bottom of a coal mine. The dogs were really close, and I finally gave in. And I poured close to 1/8 of a gallon of gas in the fire pit, which is in the open of this site. No trees or grass within 80 feet or so. So I put gas in a stick and threw it in the fire pit from a distance. And when that huge fireball went up, I saw no less than 30 coyotes, at which point they all took off and never returned. So, something like that, that is absolutely so hard for many of us to picture and accept that. You know what I mean? Like 30 coyotes? What? Around a fire? That sounds so frickin' out there to me, right? I wasn't there though, right? I said out loud, I'm sorry for not listening to you. Now that the fire is lit, I'm going to do the camping thing and turned on some music, grabbed a cold beer. I spent the vast majority of my life in the backcountry and never had anything close to that happen with coyotes. I've had countless encounters with them, but never anything like this. 3 packs coming in from 3 different directions? It doesn't happen. There's no possible way I could have known that this is going to happen. No way I could have imagined on this one particular night I would have needed a fire. I just had a random thought enter my head over and over. I don't understand how the forest people knew this was going to happen, but they did and kept warning me. I no longer second guess them when they tell me things like that. They keep me safe, and there's always a watcher watching over me when I'm out in the wilderness. I know most people don't understand them, understand they are a peaceful and loving, and for the most part, want nothing to do with us. I don't think I need to explain much on the human psyche. For everyone out there, let me say this, they are people. They have teenagers, and teenagers are just that. They do things like mess with us and play pranks. Children act like children, yes, Some are a little grumpy. We as a whole have been taught all of our lives that everything that goes bump in the night is bad. It will test your mettle to see what you're made of, and that can seem threatening and terrifying. Trust me, I know firsthand. But what I also know firsthand is that we are misinterpreting what's actually going on. If, and it's a big if, they were dangerous, they were these dangerous things, I wouldn't be here. With over 8,000 hours in the field, boots on the ground in the past 4.5 years, 2/3 of that time all by myself in the wilderness, I wouldn't be here. I have so much more to say, but for now, this is enough. So I'm very grateful for you and everything you're doing. I know how much time this consumes, but it's vitally important that these messages get out to the general public, and you have my total support. More info to come, as I'm now locked and loaded to get it out. Once again, thank you. I can't see your name, right? Hold on a minute. Because the previous email said don't say my name. All right, Kevin Keene, aka Arizona Squatch. Peace out. Okay, Kevin. I know that's an older email. I don't think I read it because I think I would have remembered the 30 frickin' coyote thing. That's so bizarre, isn't it? Or was the coyotes, was that something that was possibly just created and imposed on you from something else for the fact? I don't know. One time I think I was driving in rural Alberta in broad daylight. I looked across an open farm field, and I think I seen like 6 or 7 coyotes together ripping across the field, and that kind of made me go, holy shit, look at that. Usually you see pairs of them, or maybe 3. 30 circling a human being. And 30 being present when these beings are present to top it off. It's just so weird, right? But anyway, we've had a lot of emails from the Arizona 4. I think it's the Arizona 6 or many more. I think you guys have shared with us many times now. Anyway, I'm gonna get my butt in gear. So much to share, so many people I need to get in contact with again from here, so many things to do. I think I need about 15 lifetimes to do everything I want to do it properly, smoothly, complete tasks. I'll get them done. And as soon as I get them done, we're going to advance much more with this topic and more. I have a funny feeling I'm going to be going to some very spooky, what we would interpret as spooky places in the near future, and I'll bring all you guys there with some other people. Got a few invites, and I'll be taking those invites up. Why not? Why? I mean, for me, why? I don't know. Maybe I just like scaring the shit out of myself. I don't know. Maybe if I offer my ass up, maybe I'll leap us ahead in gathering knowledge a lot faster, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe Dave Pilatus will be having a special episode of my disappearance one day. You never know, right? Anyway, share my story at howtohunt.com. That's where you're going to email what you need to share with the people, all right? And I hope for all you who are waiting for Sarah to load up with those more popular items, I hope you got them in time. And she'll load more. She'll get more on there if you weren't quick enough to get it from her store. She'll load more on there. It's the howtohuntstore.com. I'll do another little pan with the camera behind me again. Maybe we'll do that as a ritual wherever I go, right? And I'll see you guys later on.